Here we go, week 3 of On Top the Cage. Last week was way too long, Dan. We'll do better for you. It was an hour and 26 minutes long. Yikes. I played it back. It took forever. My goodness. We'll do better. I was a little drinky at the end. I'll do better for you all. So, my father-in-law Tom is behind the camera. He did not want to be in the booth, if you will.
Tonight, live studio audience today.
That's right. We'll get some crack commentary, I'm sure. My brother-in-law Kevin is going to be up this weekend, not only to see us, but also his dad doesn't come up terribly often. But Kevin lives in Louisville, Kentucky, so it's a 4 or 5 hour drive for him. Come up, see his dad, see us. I'll only be here for part of the weekend, though. So, and we'll talk about that in a bit. Officially fall this weekend, September 23.
Was it like 7 in the morning on Saturday or something?
Something like that. We got some better weather coming. Yeah, better weather coming. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's barely 60 right now out here.
Did you notice that the leaves are changing color, though, already?
No, mine are starting to fall already, yeah. I got to tune up my leaf blower. I mean, it's a significant job in the back, for sure. So, anyway, that comes Saturday. Dan was a surprise. Speaking of Saturdays, you were a surprise visitor on Saturday.
Oh, yeah. I needed a victory beer after that performance.
We might as well go into the youth football update. It's a staple of the show. What happened?
I had 13 kids dressed and ready to go.
Two-way players, Travis Hunter style.
Yeah, two on the bench, 2 subs. That's it. Just because of the IR people and broken wrists and ankles and unbelievable. So our 13 kids beat this team 26-6.
Nice. That's awesome.
13 kids. So yeah, real proud of them. Offense completely dominated the time of possession. Our first drive started. We got the ball first. Our quarters are 8 minutes long. Started on the 35, drove all the way down the field and scored.
Always good to get the opening points.
Gave them the ball with under a minute left in the first quarter. They went 3 and out. We got the ball back again to end the first quarter.
I remember that.
Yeah. I mean, that was always my goal when I was the head coach.
Oh, my God.
To chew up a quarter.
We ran the most boring offense of all time. 3 yards in a cloud
4
of
yards,
dust.
baby. I'm happy with it.
If we were getting risky, we might run a jet sweep or something like that. But there was a lot of air going on.
Make them stupid and then throw one over the top. Kids standing there wide open.
Dan loves it. He watches what the kids do on defense to try to call his plays and things like that. He loves it, so that's awesome.
Oh, yeah, we hit the wheel route several times. And the guy calling the plays this year, because I'm not doing it, he's like, we're going to run that until they stop it. And I'm like, you're going to be able to run it all day long.
Because
they are not going to stop that.
Until they fix the problem, you might as well, right? I mean, that's coaching.
Mess.
That's what you call coaching right there. So, anyway, Dan actually stopped by for his, I guess it's got a new term now, Victory Beers, I guess.
Yeah.
Dan stopped by. I wasn't here. When I showed up, I was going to get some of our fall stuff. I got a bale of hay or straw bale or whatever it is, corn shucks, a few pumpkins and things, that little display right outside that you can't see. But anyway, I was doing that, but it was a surprise when I.
Well, I was going to keep going, but then your wife was out here and saw me, and I was like, oh, busted.
Oh, yeah, she gets bitter. Yeah, she gets bitter.
Busted. I couldn't do a drive-by.
Yeah, there's no way that you were going to get away with that. So this past weekend, I got to see my oldest son, Connor. It was the first time I saw him since we dropped him off at Ohio State. So it was roughly a month. He was home. He didn't get home till late Friday. I didn't see him till Sunday. He had the Hardy and Lainey Wilson concert on Saturday in Youngstown that he went to.
What's that?
They had a great time. They had great tickets. They had pit tickets, if you will. They were in the second row. There's a picture of his girlfriend, Brianna, with Lainey Wilson, like, touching her and things like that. Great pictures. Connor got a guitar pick. They had a great time. And he was over here Sunday for the football game. He did not come without demands. He's like, Dad, I'm going to be there for the football game, the Bears game on Sunday. I need you to make chili. And by the way, I need a Ohio State football for me and my buddies to throw around. We don't have a football right now. So anyway, all that stuff happened, and that's all well and good. So let's do the beer review, and because it's going to tie into a little bit what happens this weekend.
Yeah, I don't know why in the hell we're
both Notre
Dame fans, and you got an Ohio State fan zone IPA. I should chuck this in the street.
The marquee football game. College football game this weekend is the Ohio State Buckeyes traveling to play Notre Dame in South Bend. Obviously, both undefeated. I think the Irish are ranked 9th. I think the Buckeyes are ranked 6th, if I'm not mistaken. But it's called Ohio Fan Zone, and it's not from Ohio. It's from Ellicottville, New York. You know where that is?
No.
You will in a second. It's in Western New York. You ever heard of people going to Holiday Valley?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in Ellicottville. And they have this brewery
Why
coming.
the hell is there an ambulance on here?
I don't know. It's an awesome can presentation. It really is. Connor took one home with him when he saw them, and like, that's so cool, just for a display piece. But it has Ohio Stadium, has the kind of Archie Griffin, has a Brutus on, has just a ton of stuff. It's a great beer presentation.
You got people playing beer pong.
Yes, I mean it's a tremendous. I mean,
Yeah, no, it's cool.
That took a lot of
surprised
work.
They don't have these for a bunch of different
every team should have this, right? I went on their website. I did, and they have one for the Buffalo Bills because they're up near that way. So it's an IPA, Dan. You do this stuff. Can you read it? What do we got for alcohol?
Indian Pale Ale IPA. It is 5% alcohol by volume.
The backside of it too. It's super cool. I'm ready to go in. I'm gonna beat Dan. I never beat Dan.
Yeah, it is from New York.
It's an
Dude.
IPA. I like it.
Wait. Okay. Did you saw the video of the guy throwing the garage beer to the ship?
Yes,
In the
you sent it to me.
Cuyahoga
Yes,
River? Oh,
that was a
God.
hoof. That was a toss, man. They got to be 50 yards. or
50
something.
yards is what they estimated the toss. So I don't know how
On point.
everybody's, from all over the place watching our show, but the Cuyahoga River, and I'm not exactly certain where they were. It looked like a cool tailgate spot,
I couldn't tell either exactly. That's not the Muni lot.
but no, which it's $70 to park in the Muni lot this year. $70.
We prepay for parking. I promise I'm going to get to talking about my weekend coming up at the Notre Dame Ohio State game in a second.
But this
prepay for
freighter
parking.
was coming through on the Cuyahoga River, and the people are tailgating right there. It looked like a park or something, and they yelled, "Hey, you want a beer?" And a guy on the boat said, "Yeah," and this dude freaking launched.
Maybe he should play quarterback for the Browns.
Launched it, and the guy on the boat caught it. They, on the boat has a Twitter page, and they sent out the picture on their Twitter. So it was pretty awesome. Garage Beer capitalized on that. I think they called it the Cuyahoga Catch.
Nice.
Get your T-shirt now.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's awesome. That's great shit. I love seeing stuff like that. You see all kinds of good stuff on
Oh, I didn't taste
Twitter,
this yet.
formerly known as,
No, definitely
or
smells like an IPA.
X, formerly known as Twitter. So we started talking about this a little bit. I got a big weekend coming up, even though I have lots of family in town, Katie's side.
That's light.
I like it's
heavy.
good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. But my buddy Ronnie, my hometown buddy Ronnie, gifted myself, Connor, and Keaton, my two natural born boys. I have the two other boys, Ethan and Gavin here. We got full house of boys. Poor Katie. But Connor, Keaton, myself are going, and also Dan passed and we've talked about this on previous shows. I asked Dan if he wanted to go first, and he said no. He not only do you have youth football, and Dan and I've talked
Yeah, I
about
didn't
this
know the
like
schedule either. Yeah,
we've talked
right.
about this multiple times on the show. It's so much better watching games at home with cheaper beers.
I do like going to Notre Dame for a game.
There's so much there. I'm going to try to see Ronnie as much as I can. I mean, the kids are going to want to walk around. They haven't been there for 12 years. The last time I took them, they're going to walk the grotto. 12 years since I took them. And that's not true. That's right. The last time we were at a football game was 12 years ago. My niece Lauren probably got married 8 years ago. I don't know. My family will correct me for sure. But we were there for that. We have awesome pictures of on the field.
Yeah, that was.
I wear
I
tuxes
remember-
and
yeah,
stances. Yeah,
that
like
picture
great
you
stuff.
sent was awesome.
Like great stuff. So I'm totally looking forward to it. Once again, thank you, Ronnie. Adam's going with me, and Adam's bringing his 10, 11, maybe year old son with him.
Oh, he'll have a great time. He'll
Yeah,
have
like
forever.
he's gonna see some shit he's never seen before. I promise
you
you.
crazy ass fans. The Notre Dame people are fine. They
Gonna learn
they
today.
good.
Gonna learn today. 10-year-old Joel, whatever he is. So it's gonna look like Christmas up there. All the Ohio State. I mean, Ohio State travels well. They're gonna be up there. They are 100%. And it's a green out for Notre Dame.
Nice.
By the way, I don't have a stitch of green in my fucking wardrobe. I don't know how to fix that. I didn't buy anything for
You
this.
need to borrow something?
No. I'll probably buy something from a vendor if I see a cool shirt or something like that.
I got that green jersey thing that's cool. It says Irish.
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know.
Be that way.
So, yeah, I don't have green in my wardrobe, but we'll see. And they're handing out these cool wristbands, I guess, that they're going to do. And yeah, I don't know. You got to plug in the code with your phone or whatever it is on everybody's seat. I think it's going to be a wild scene in South Bend. I don't have it on the board to pick it, but probably in the outro, Dan.
Dude,
but you know where we're going with
wait
it,
till you
so.
see the traffic crossing the Ohio-Indiana border. Sucks.
It's so different. I know. You said that.
Construction it's one freaking lane.
7:30
One lane.
It's going to take forever to get there. We're leaving like at 7 or 8 in the morning. The game kicks at 7:30 Eastern time.
When can you check into your place?
We're not going ahead of time. We're just going to go afterwards. We got an Airbnb, but you can't get an Airbnb anywhere close. I mean, literally when I knew that my buddy Ronnie gifted me these tickets, we went and looked for a hotel. It was $900 a night for a room at like a shitbag Red Roach hotel. So we got an Airbnb. It's a good 30 minutes out of town on our way back home, but it's the best we could do. But meanwhile, everything's a lot more sophisticated. Like my buddy Adam's like all over this shit, and he bought a parking pass for one of the parking lots. It was like $100 already, like parking stiff, type of thing. So he's very well prepared. He's got food he's bringing. I'm like, I'll bring alcohol and shit. I mean, I don't know, but like he's wildly into it. He's ready to go.
You need to stop at the liquor store down there since you're going to be there so early. They don't have sales tax.
Oh yeah. Well, no, I don't know about that. I'll bring my own shit. Wow.
Well, bring it back, dummy.
Oh. I don't know. We got a lot going on. That's a lot to ask. I don't know. So
What?
It's a lot to ask.
Oh, my
So.
parents stop at the liquor store every time they go to Notre Dame.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Indiana's better. We go there often. Well, not often. We certainly go there for holidays. My sister and brother-in-law, Carmen and Steve, they host and you've heard about it on the show if you're an avid listener, the week before Christmas party that we have, Throwdown, the Jerusalem Throwdown as we call it. So we'll be back there. I do want to mention some of the watchers on this show. My son Keaton's buddies, Davis and Dom. They're down. They're OU students.
Oh, nice.
Davis Stanton loves the show. And Keaton sent me a picture. They're watching it on Wednesday. In their room, they got their beers, probably whatever they're doing.
Nice.
They're watching it, so I wanted to certainly mention them. I think Keaton and his buddies watch the show. Probably make fun of Keaton and his dad for being a jackass on the show. Like, damn, your dad's drunk. I mean, it's an hour and 26
Keaton
minutes.
and his dad?
Left. So,
Oh, they make
what?
fun of Keaton and you?
Maybe.
Not me.
Not you.
I'll drive down there.
You probably
with
get thrown in
some
a boat. The other last thing I do want to mention is I'm in the survivor pool. I told you that stuff.
Yeah.
Jacksonville is a survivor pick this week. I'm still alive. Connor Keaton is still alive. Katie's not. Katie bowed out last week. She had Detroit. They lost their game in overtime against the Seahawks. So that sucks for her. It was a hard week last week, though, and that kind of leads into what happened last week. Ready to do for the week predictions or the week records from last week? All right.
I'm ready.
Last week, Dan went 8-7-1. I went 7-8-1. That's the reason. I'm the reason why there's no shots on the table, unfortunately. On the season, Dan 17-14-1. I'm 16-15-1. Dan, who quickly made his best bet elephant pick, as it's called on the show last week, but Cleveland lost, and he drops his record to 1-1. He did win the first week. I was on the Fins, the Dolphins last week. I think they were field goal favorites. They won by a touchdown. I squared my record at 1-1, so that's where we stand before football. Anything else you want to talk about before we get into the slate?
No, let's go.
Thursday Night Football. Amazon Prime. It is the New York Giants traveling across country to San Francisco. Actually, as I say that, I'm guessing that the Giants are not traveling across the country. They played in Arizona last week. I'm guessing they stayed out there. I don't know that definitively.
Jeez. Yeah, I hope
anyway,
they did.
Big line. San Francisco, rightfully so. San Francisco, 10.5-point favorites in this game. Talking about the Giants, they came off a win. Well, they got destroyed opening week against Dallas. They came off a win in Arizona last week
And
where they were down by
destroyed.
3 touchdowns.
Unbelievable.
Late, like mid to late third quarter, down 3 touchdowns. They mounted a comeback, and they ended up winning the game by a field goal. And it's a huge storyline in National Football League this week. They lost Saquon Barkley,
Yeah.
probably for a few weeks. He has better than what we thought. I mean, they were worried about he might be gone for the year, and don't worry, Dan, he's probably itching to talk about Nick Chubb, and we're going to get to him a couple games down on the board. But they lost Saquon, and Daboll acts like he's a quick healer and he might play, but I think that's all charades and bullshit.
Hey, you know what?
He ain't playing.
They're-
And the problem with the Giants, that whole offense goes through 26. It goes through Saquon Barkley, and they don't have him. I mean, I don't know. Matt Breida, I guess, is going to run the ball for them, if you will.
They lucked out last year, used a lot of gadget stuff, goofy shit, and won some games. I mean, they're playing crappy competition. I mean, they were the 4th seed. last year, so they play the lower echelon teams. So, no, they're not.
Was that the game against Minnesota that they blew? I can't remember in the playoffs what happened. Maybe it was Indy. Anyway, San Francisco, once again, 10.5-point favorites. They come off of their win against the Los Angeles Rams. They're 2-0. The Giants are 1-1, if I didn't mention their record. I mean, it's a really, really good football team. Very balanced football team. Good on offense. Lots of playmakers. McCaffrey with the ball. Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, who they gave that 5th-year deal to, has shown up big so far this year. George Kittle's on that team, and we haven't even talked about the defense. The defense is fucking great.
They're lights out. The only thing we got to talk about is the shitty refereeing.
Yeah, well, we will.
If that crew that did last night's Browns-Steelers game is out there, look out.
His Browns game is up on the board in 2 games. They're probably, right now, 2 weeks in, I know it's early, they're probably the best team in football if you ask me. San Francisco minus 10.5 in this game.
I'm going with the 49ers.
Dan hates the city of San Francisco, but there's not a lot of hate about this football team. No, I agree. I'm laying the entire boat. I think they blow them out. I think this is a 17-point game. I do.
Barkley then? Well, no.
Yeah, Barkley doesn't play. That offense runs through him. If he doesn't play, which I got to believe not. I don't know where they're going to go for offense.
I don't either.
Dallas shut him out. Is San Francisco going to shut him out too? I don't know. So, Dan and I are both laying a heavy load, 10.5 points, the first game on Thursday Night Football. The 1 p.m. slate starts with the Indianapolis Colts traveling to Baltimore. I'm going to coin this game, and I don't think I've heard it on any of the talking heads, but this is like the stolen team game. Remember? Indy stole Baltimore.
Oh, yeah.
Baltimore stole Cleveland's team.
Stolen team game.
Team game. Baltimore 7.5-point favorites against Indianapolis. Indianapolis, they won.
You should come up with a trophy for this.
Like
some dude in a mask.
Like red hot, yeah. Red hot. Hot stolen.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, you could probably. That's a good idea. So
that's catchy. I like that.
Stolen team game. Here we go. Indianapolis, big win in division. They went down to Houston. Dan and I were both on Houston last week. They won that game fairly handily. Indianapolis is 1-1 on the season. Anthony Richards got a concussion, and that's what threw the whole fucking game off, if you ask me. You know why? Because their backup quarterback's Gardner Minshew, and I think he's a really good quarterback and probably could start for a good handful or so of teams in the National Football League. If that guy plays, it skews the line because right now, at a minimum, he's a better quarterback than Anthony Richards in this. Because he knows how to read defenses, he knows how to get the ball out, he knows what to do. I like that guy a lot at the quarterback position, and who knows, but they dominated Houston last week. They won that game going away. Baltimore, huge win. Division win, again, in Cincinnati. They got the opening touchdown. They didn't kind of look back. We'll talk about the Cincinnati Bengals when they come up on the board.
Is he playing?
I don't know. Did he get nipped?
He went out with an ankle.
Baltimore always seems to get bit by the injury bug, man. They have tough luck in regards to injuries. Trainer's a tough job there in Baltimore. They kept the Cincinnati offense down, but so did Cleveland. I'm not going to talk about the Bengals, but and the Todd Monken offense in Baltimore, which is new this year to them. Kind of a work in progress, but it looked a little bit better in Cincinnati than it did at home against Houston opening week. Baltimore minus 7.5 in this game.
I don't know. Who's Indy played? Houston, and who was their first game?
Jacks. They hung with Jacksonville.
They did hang there.
Yeah. You want to go or you want me to go?
I'm almost leaning towards Indy on this.
I'm going to take the points of all. You know what it is? It's Gardner Minshew. If he plays,
to me
I think it's a competitive game. Sure, yeah. Obviously Lamar Jackson's that offense and kind of a running quarterback, but he likes to trying to stay in the pocket more. I'm going to take the points too. I think it's risky. It's probably a game I'm not going to personally play.
Did you watch any of that Colorado State game?
I fell asleep at halftime. I wish I didn't. I couldn't stay up.
Yeah, no,
the game was like at 2 in the morning.
1:00. I was like, I got to go to bed. But that Sanders kid playing quarterback.
Shedeur.
Holy. How do you say it?
Shedeur.
Shedeur.
Shaddur.
Shredder. Because he's shredding defenses, man. I'll tell you what. That kid, he stands there in the pocket and throws bullets.
He's not afraid. Yeah, he's not afraid of the rush coming at him. They got a pretty decent football team, and obviously Prime Deion Sanders is the headline of college football right now. That game got more views than any other college football game ever, which is just nuts, insane.
I couldn't wait for it to come on.
We're gonna find out about.
I watched the freaking Columbus Crew get their ass waxed when they were winning.
We did,
and they still lost. I was so pissed. I couldn't wait for that game to come on.
I mean, that game. I was looking for. We're so sidetracked, but that's fine. That Colorado State game was fantastic, and it was fantastic before the game started. I mean, there was obviously some back and forth between Deion Sanders and Jay Norvell, the head coach of Colorado State.
Colorado State played good, though.
They were great.
They were fucking great. Half, if you're a football fan, that first half was.
There was cheap
awesome.
shots. It was chippy. I mean, there was a lot going on. There was arguments / fights before the game. Even there were fireworks before the game started. I mean, it was awesome. I wish I could have stayed awake. I didn't. I tried to. It was on. I just fell asleep. Shedeur and
I like
Shiloh.
Shredder better.
Fine. I have no idea. We got to recap this.
Kid's good.
We both took Andy getting the points.
Yeah.
All right, and we got a big topic coming up, and it's Dan's Cleveland football team. They host the Tennessee Titans. Cleveland is a 3.5 point favorite in this game. Tennessee, they come off of their win at home against the Los Angeles Chargers. Big win. We didn't know which way that game was going to go. I mean, the difference for him this week, Tannehill didn't turn the ball over. He had 3 turnovers the previous week in New Orleans. And then they were able to finish the game. And the recipe for that team is always finish the game with Derrick Henry and let him pound the ball. So they go into Cleveland. Cleveland just got off of their game last week. And I'm going to let Dan talk about his football team. I'm going to say one thing. They come off their loss at home Monday night against Pittsburgh, and their record is 1-1. Both these teams were 1-1. Your team has a fucking awesome defense, and I'll let you take it from there.
The defense, they're fantastic. Obviously, everybody knows we lost Nick Chubb, which is
killer injury.
I mean, it's devastating. I looking at that in replay or a picture, I don't think he plays again. I mean, I feel really bad for that kid. I feel bad for the team. Those guys had to suck it up and still play, but I mean, our offense is pitiful at this moment in time, and the $230 million man better get his shit straight and start freaking winning us some games. And some dudes need to catch football. We can't gift another team 2 freaking touchdowns and expect to win. 4 freaking turnovers all together.
Got 2 defensive touchdowns.
Bullshit.
The first one wasn't really Watson's fault. The guy's got to catch the ball.
Well, you got to catch the ball. I agree 100% with that. It would hit you in both hands. Catch the freaking ball.
But 100% has to play better.
I mean, yeah, he totally
has to play better.
Because the Steelers' offense absolutely sucks. I mean, they suck. That team.
Well, they haven't moved the ball. They happen to play 2 really good defenses so far.
They had one play on us, and it was clearly there was a blown coverage somewhere because Pickens was wide open.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly
wide
right.
the hell open.
The Steelers opened up with San Francisco at home, and San Francisco has a great defense. And Dan, I think your defense is elite.
Yeah,
under Jim Schwartz.
The defense is elite.
They
that's
fly
fine,
around.
But the offense is
They're a better football team
They're
than the
not
Steelers.
owning up or carrying their weight.
They're not. Watson has to be better. At least he was accountable at a minimum.
Watson has to be better. The play calling has to be. It's either we throw underneath.
Who calls the plays?
Stuff or long, deep shit. Stefanski still calls
Stefanski calls them? Let's talk about this. I mean, do you want to run with Jerome Ford the rest of the season?
No, we got to get another guy in here. Kareem Hunt was in the building today. I mean,
he knows the offense.
That's a big story. He knows the offense. It doesn't cost us anything.
What about going for it? What about actually going for it?
No, you got Cam Akers, which for
what about
some
going
reason,
for it and giving Indianapolis a 2 for Jonathan Taylor? What about going for it?
No, I don't.
What's their run scheme? Is it zone?
Jonathan Taylor wasn't impressive last year when he played. He did nothing last year. So a 2. I don't know.
Here's what I think. I think you wait to see if Watson looks better in the next coming weeks. And if he does, and they look like a team that has a chance of Super Bowl pedigree, I think you swing at it and go for Taylor. I mean,
I don't know about Taylor.
So, I don't know. Cleveland minus 3.5 in this game.
I'm taking Cleveland. They're going to regroup. I mean, believe me, those guys are I was devastated. I mean, the whole game.
Chubb's a good kid, too. That sucks.
I know.
I mean, doesn't cause any problems, ever.
How about DeJuan Jones?
Yeah, big guy. Ohio State 4th round.
Was TJ Watt a factor in that game? Not really.
He's a great player.
Not
but
really.
I'll put it this way. T.J. Watt impacted the game. With that being said, DeJuan Jones did a really good job against one of
T.J.
the
Watt.
top 1, 2, or 3
Our other tackle sucked ass.
defensive players in the National Football League.
Yeah, no, he
held his own. He did.
Or not T.J. Watt, DeJuan Jones.
Yeah, he held his own.
He held his own.
I mean, Watt got in there a couple of times, but that's to be expected. He's an absolutely great player.
But our left tackle and our quarterback need to get their shit together.
I think this game's 19-16, 2017. The hook scares the shit out of me. I'm taking Tennessee. I think Cleveland wins this game. I think it's a buzzer. I really do. The Chubb thing, the hangover, we'll see how that team bounces back mentally wise. I mean, because that's a tough loss for a leader in the locker room and probably your best player. I don't think there's a question.
He's one of the best
Maybe
players
Miles
in the
Garrett.
NFL.
Probably Miles Garrett, but anyway, I get it. Dan's on Cleveland. I'm on to take the Tennessee Titans. I just think it's a really down-the-wire game. Next game on the board is Atlanta at Detroit. Atlanta's 2-0 on the season. Detroit's 1-1. Detroit, 3.5-point favorites at home in this game. Atlanta comes off a big win at home against Green Bay, where they were down late and got the last 14 points of the game, won the game by a point. Their defense is playing pretty well. It is. They got Bijan Robinson much more involved this week than he was opening week. I mean, they're a surprise 2-0 team, and it's really big for mentality for Atlanta Falcons, the players, because they've been a losing team, And wait, we just won 2 games in a row. What the hell is going on here? Belief is a big part of winning. You go into a game with a defeatist mentality, it's tough to win. Detroit does not have that problem. They're a very confident football team, although they lost a crazy game at home in overtime against the Seattle Seahawks. Once again, they're 3.5-point favorites. They lost the turnover battle of Seattle.
All right, I saw Hutchinson got hurt. Is he playing?
I don't know. We'd see. We missed the injury reports. Dan wants to shoot down Wednesday, the show on Wednesday. I don't blame him. We're trying to accommodate the football schedule. Once that ends and, towards the end of October, we'll probably go back to Wednesdays just so we have the injury report and a little bit more information for y'all. But I don't know if Hutchinson's going to play or not. I didn't hear anything about it at all. My guess is he plays. Detroit's defense has to be a little bit better. Geno kind of shredded them a little bit. Geno looked pretty good. He looked like the Geno of last year. Detroit minus 3.5 in this game, Dan.
Atlanta just beat Green Bay, right?
They did.
Green Bay's defense is pretty good.
It is.
The thing went off.
I hate that.
I got to go with Detroit because they're at home on this one. Get Ritter out of his home territory.
You on who? No, Detroit?
I'm on Detroit.
So am I. I think Detroit bounces back. I think they have the better football team. I think Atlanta was home for their first 2 games, if I'm not mistaken.
I think they were.
I may be wrong about that. No, they were at home against Carolina opening week. They won, and they were at home against the Packers.
Yeah.
First time on the road. Art Smith's team, who's done a good job with,
Art
obviously.
Smith with the stash.
I know. Mr. FedEx, multi-millionaire son. So, anyway, we're both on the Detroit Lions, giving the 3.5 points in this game. Next game on the board, division game, Houston and Jacksonville.
Now you skip New Orleans.
Oh, I did, totally. All right. I just keep on looking back at this thing because I feel like it's going to flip off. That's my bad. Pretty good game on the board. The New Orleans Saints travel to Green Bay at Lambeau Field to play the Packers. Packers 2.5-point favorites in this game. New Orleans 2-0. They won at home opening week against Tennessee. They won just last night in Carolina. We're not talking about 2 terribly tough opponents. They have a really good defense, like a playoff caliber defense. Derek Carr's the new quarterback there. It's still a work in progress. Dan, you didn't see a lot of it because you maybe saw the first few minutes and then you went to your game because they stagger these Monday Night Football games.
The game, it was boring. I mean, New Orleans was gifted how many turnovers against Tennessee? 3.
Yeah.
So and then I don't know. You struggled against rookie quarterback.
Yeah. I agree. Sorry, I'm effing with this logo thing back here. I apologize. Green Bay. I mean, they kind of. It wasn't really a back and forth game. Green Bay got a hold of that game in Atlanta in the second half, and then they blew it.
Right.
They gave up the last 14 points of that game. Love continues to look pretty good. And their defense isn't bad. Christian Watson hasn't played yet. I don't know if Christian Watson's going to be up, who's their primary wide receiver. Green Bay going to win this game by a field goal?
I'm going to say, yeah, they're at home.
I agree with Dan. I'm going to take the Packers as well, minus the 2.5.
Because this is their first home game, isn't it? They were on the road. They haven't played at home yet.
They played in Chicago and Atlanta. Dan's right. This is opening week, if you will, in Lambeau Field for the Green Bay Packers. Dan and I both like them with their crowd being behind them. Minus 2.5. I think it's a good line for them. Houston Jags, which I tried to introduce. Dan thankfully corrected me. Division game. Jacksonville 9-point favorites in this game against Houston. Houston comes off of their loss at home against Indianapolis. They are 0-2. They have a rookie quarterback. They're going to take their lumps. C.J. Stroud threw for over 300 yards in the game. So I guess, you take what positive you can when you have a rookie quarterback. It is what it is. They're going to take their lumps. They're going to do, try to get some bright spots out of the season. We'll see how it shakes. They'll surely win a game 2, 3, 4 here and there. Jacksonville, they come off of their home loss against Kansas City, and they weren't impressive.
They weren't.
I don't think Kansas City has a juggernaut, defense or anything like that. And they didn't put up many points at all. I want to say they scored 9 fucking points in that game. And that's not going to get it done in any National Football League game. They're big favorites at home. They're minus 9. They had their chances. They didn't convert their fourth downs. The offense has to be better. It's a big number, Dan, in a division game. They're going to win this game by 10 points?
I'm taking Jacksonville in this. Rookie head coach on the road, rookie quarterback, yeah.
They got to get it together at some point in time, and I think Jacksonville, or at least I did in our season prediction show, was a dark horse team to make it all the way to the Super Bowl. They got to get it together at some point in time. It scares me a little bit. I probably won't personally play this game either, but I'm going to lay the points as well with Jacksonville minus 9. Next game on the board is the Denver Broncos. They travel to the in-laws team, the Miami Dolphins. Tom, he's writing down notes in regards to what he picked. Can we at least get a dolphin EEE from you?
EEE.
There you go.
What's the spread?
Spread is the Dolphins minus 6.5 in this game at home. Denver, they are an 0-2 football team. They lost 2 home games. They lost to the Raiders opening week, and they lost to the Commanders last week.
You could have an easier schedule to open up.
Right.
At home.
And they blew it. They had a big lead. Big lead late to the Commanders. I think they had the Commanders down 21-3, and the Commanders ended up winning this game. But did you see the end of that game?
Yeah,
the Hail Mary play?
I think they flipped that on. Yeah.
The Hail Mary happens. It bounces off multiple people, ricochets. Denver gets it, but they need 2, right? They need 2 to tie the game,
stuff.
And they didn't get the 2-point conversion. Sean Payton era in Denver has not started well. So 2 weeks in a row that they've blown leads and couldn't keep them. The Dolphins. Dolphins look really good.
Holy shit, their offense is clicking.
They're really good on both sides of the ball. They're really good.
Were they the Sunday night game or?
They were, yes, they were the Sunday night football game
man,
against the Patriots.
Good grief.
And let's talk about that. They did come off of their win in New England. Big division win. They're 2-0. And the thing I like most about what happened in that game was Mike McDaniel coached. He coached, and he said, if you're going to stay back and take away the big play over the top, we're going to run the ball down your throat. And they did. They ran the ball way more than they normally do. They did. I love that about Mike McDaniel. He's like, I'm going to take what you give me. They're a dangerous football team. They can beat you on the ground. They can beat you over the top. They've great wide receivers.
Tua's getting the ball out a lot quicker.
It comes out. Oh, geez.
They're not throwing
the opposite
shit
of my football
downfield.
team.
Because, those dudes that they got, you catch a short pass, they're running.
Yeah, they are.
Full speed routes. If you could do a cut-ups of those guys running routes to show my Pee Wee team the importance of running full speed all the time, it's textbook. They're a good freaking team.
They're a really good football team. Keep Tua healthy, and they're going to be super dangerous. 6.5. I love the line. I'll take the lead.
I'm taking Miami.
100%.
Denver going down there.
I understand.
High to the beach.
It's crisis time. Going 0-3 is like a death sentence in the National Football League in regards to making the playoffs. I understand the importance of this game for Denver. I just think they're not near as talented as the Dolphins. I'm going to lay it every day, too. It's a candidate for elephant pick. Best bet on the show. But we'll see how that shakes out later. Next game on the board, the Chargers, Los Angeles Chargers, travel to Minnesota. Pick 'em game, which means that just pick the winner. There's no spread in regards to this game.
And this is insane to me because you have, on your notes on this board, something that I had in my head that I wanted to say.
Well, let me get it out there. It's a pick'em game, and this is the only game on the board where both teams are 0-2. And Dan, if you ask me, this might be the best game on the board. That's fucked up, right?
Well, I don't know. Best game. I don't know. Minnesota's offense does not impress me at all.
There's not a lot of really like, hey, oh my God, that's a great game on the board this week for the National Football League in Week 3. I mean, this game's really interesting. I mean, both these teams are 0-2. I mean, if both these teams could easily be 2-0. I mean, they could. They're not, and it's desperation time for both of them. We talked briefly already about the Chargers losing that game in Tennessee. The Chargers, and I wrote it down. Is that what you're talking about? They've scored 58 points.
And no turnovers.
0 turnovers.
They haven't won a game.
And they're 0-2.
That's crazy.
The defense obviously has to be better when that happens, for one thing. So that's really crazy. Minnesota lost.
They have a defensive coach.
Brandon Staley. You talk about the seat being hot. That shit's infrared fucking hot.
Yeah.
I think is there a chance that you could have a coaching change this early if they lose this game? Kellen Moore takes over the team because the offense is obviously doing well. I mean, would you possibly do that to light a fire into this team? Is that too early? Dave's a coach. He's not gonna like this.
I mean,
but the offense is doing great. Defense is not. He's a defensive guy. I know he's the head coach, but
you don't have anything to lose. You're in the NFL. If you are 0-3, yeah, fire his ass. What else? What's the worst thing that could happen?
I think it happens. I think not only the Chargers lose this game in Minnesota, I think what Dan and I just talked about happens. I think that the brass for the Chargers say, we got a really good fucking football team here. We're 0-3. Something's got to change. We got to light a fire somehow, spark something. And I think it's Kellen Moore gets his chance as head coach. Interim head coach, if you will. But I don't know. That's a wild, kind of prediction. I saw Minnesota. They lost that game on Thursday night. They get extra rest as well, in this game. Thursday night, they lost that game in Philadelphia. More turnovers. They've turned over the ball so many times. They turned it over, I think, 3 times against Tampa Bay opening week. They turned it over 4 times against Philly, I think, last week. And let's talk about that. Dan and I were texting back and forth the Thursday night football game. It was a Justin Jefferson reach for the end zone and the touchback rule. How penalizing is it? It's way too penalizing, right?
Yeah.
What would you suggest, though? I mean, obviously he didn't score.
It's the offense's ball where he lost the fumble. The same thing happened to the Browns in the playoffs against the Chiefs.
I know, to give the other
Rashad
team
Higgins reached out and it fumbled through the end zone, and they got the ball.
I understand.
They didn't recover it.
I agree.
It's stupid. It's so freaking dumb.
You know what I'm okay with? Because you can't have people trying to fumble through the end zone and shit like that. You can't have people trying to, try to F with the rules, if you will. But if you want to be penalizing, okay, the ball goes back to your 20, you have the ball. First down. But you can't give the other team the ball.
No, you can't give the other team the ball. I don't necessarily agree with what you just said about you get the ball at the 20.
And there's lots of times where people reach for the pylon and it comes loose, type of thing. It's not like the defensive play is like somebody made some peanut punch on a thing or somebody made some great defensive play. It's way too penalizing of a rule. It's archaic. I mean, it needs to change. It hasn't. I already told you. I'm taking the Vikings to win this game. They're home.
Okay, this is our play. We run down there and just throw it out of bounds through the end zone. Who's going to do that?
Nobody's going to do that. But we were talking about. Last night we were talking. That's how this thing came up again. We were talking about it, and you were pissed off about the fumble into the end zone, and it gets reverted back to where the spot of the fumble is. But that's 100% the correct rule, because you can't have people who are going to be short of the line to gain and purposely fumble the ball forward and hope their team catches the ball or gets the ball. You can't do that.
Wait, what play? That happened last night?
Yeah, it was the Browns. Or was it the Browns, and then it got...
I don't remember. I'm so distraught over Nick Chubb. I do remember texting you that.
Yeah, I mean, it's the right rule, because you could totally,
but that was a different rule.
It's a completely different scenario.
No. I think, didn't the Steelers have the ball?
Maybe. But meanwhile, the ball had to come back to where the point of the fumble is because you can't fumble into the end zone.
They fumbled into the no.
You can't do that
no,
because all right, I'm short of the line of gain, so I'm going to lose the ball on purpose and try to shove
it was
forward.
the 2-point play.
Yeah.
Najee Harris got jacked up in the backfield.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't even close, and the ball came out, and one of the linemen recovered it in the end zone, and that's when the whole banner started about the fumbles.
Yeah, Dan didn't like. Dan at the time didn't like it, but he completely gets it.
But that's in the field of play. This is going out of bounds.
Right.
So it's completely different. But I was just pissed. And
he was pissed. He gets it. He 100% gets it. How people could really fuck with the rule.
Yeah.
Type of thing. So.
On that situation,
right.
yes.
Right.
All right. Najee Harris got his ass kicked.
Your team's going to be fine. I mean, it hurts. That's a stinger for sure with the Chubb injury and everything. I'm on Minnesota, Dan. Did you make a pick?
No, I'm on the Chargers. It's a pick 'em.
You like the Chargers in this game? They're going to bounce back. All right, on the road. All right, very good. Next game on the board, I guess it's an important battle. I don't fucking know. It's the New England Patriots traveling the New York Jets. That's my in-laws division. Tom, New England at the Jets. Who would you prefer to win this game?
I prefer the Jets because they're worse than the
Patriots.
Patriots.
He thinks the Jets are going to suck overall because they don't have a fucking quarterback, right, Tom?
I don't think they
All right. There's a tradition right there, Tom. You know what that is? Dan's beer toss halfway through the show. It is the Patriots traveling to play the New York Jets. Not a very long travel, probably, from Massachusetts to New Jersey. New England -3 field goal favorite in this game. They lost.
Tom's favorite beer out.
They lost it. The Bud Light. Yes, sir. The New England Patriots lost at home on Sunday night.
Supporter, he told me earlier.
They did. To a very good Dolphins football team, but New England accounted for themselves well. I mean, they played well. I don't think there's any way. They had their chances.
I don't know.
The turnovers kind of doomed them.
Mac Jones got to be better with the ball. Hit that tight ends more.
He does. They look like a lot better football team than they did last year to me. And they're a competitive football team, and that's the reason why they're 3-point favorites on the road.
Did Ezekiel Elliott play? I don't remember his name getting called at all.
I don't know. 15. Tom?
Did he play at all?
Did you see Ezekiel Elliott play? Yeah. Dolphins defense stuffed him up.
Maybe we should trade for him.
Let's talk about the Jets. They come off an absolute beat down Dallas. I mean, Dallas is a good football team. I mean, here's the problem. I mean, their defense is pretty good. It is. Really good. It's better than pretty good. It's really good. But 2 is not the answer. Meaning Zach Wilson. They got to do something. The defense is good enough for them to be a playoff caliber or better
Their
team.
offensive line is not that good because I thought they would run
They
the
can't
ball.
piss away this season, Dan.
Well, hey.
I don't know what you do. I don't know. What's out there? That's hard.
You're going to have to give something up to get a quarterback. Who you
Stafford.
going to get?
Stafford.
about Matt Ryan.
No, he's so old. He's like a statue, Tom. Tom, my father-in-law went to Boston College. He trumps, on Matt Ryan all the time. There's no way. I wouldn't, dude,
Actually,
no
that
way.
might be-
I might have
that
more
might be
mobility
an
than Matt
upgrade.
Ryan. Dude, really?
I
No
don't
way.
know.
Dude, he can't move. That guy cannot move. No way. New England, this is a tricky game. New England -3.
Because
Dan.
I said trade for Matt Stafford, but
You did. I liked it. And the Rams need draft capital.
Yeah.
They need draft capital bad. All of a sudden, the Rams don't look like that bad of a football team, though. It's kind of
Actually,
weird.
yeah,
you
you're
can't.
right.
You can't. That's really hard if you're the Rams organization to shit on your football team, especially if they're the last game on the board on Monday night. What if they win in Cincinnati? You can't shit on your team and trade Matt Stafford. You can't. You can't do that to your players as an organization. With that being said, this is a really tough game for me to pick. New England's played well in the games that they have, at least defensively wise. They're a tough, fundamental, good defensive football team. Very average at best offensive team. The Jets, very good defensive team, missing the chess piece in the quarterback. What's going to happen here, Dan?
I'm going with New England. Belichick's the better master on the defense. He's going to mess with, I want to say Darnold.
Zach Wilson.
Yeah, Zach. He'll be seeing ghosts.
Yes, that was a soundbite from a couple of years ago. This is really hard for me. I think it's a field goal game. I don't know which way it goes. I'm going to hope that the Jets get the field goal out of the game. I'm going to take the Jets in this game. I think it's 100% a field goal game.
All right.
I think it comes down to the wire. I mean, I don't think there's going to be a lot of points in this game, Dan. I just don't.
Don't
So
forget
we'll see.
Belichick hates the
We got
Jets.
like a praying mantis
Yeah, I
like on
see
the
that.
board currently. that Dan and I kind of briefly read off. Next game on the board.
He's right there. I'm going with Washington.
The moth or whatever the F that is. He crossed Washington. He's on. Dan's with the moth. It's the Buffalo Bills traveling to the nation's capital to play the Washington Commanders. The 2-0 Washington Commanders. We don't talk about them first. Buffalo is a 6.5-point favorite in this game. Buffalo opening week, they lost against the Jets, and everybody's like, "What the hell's wrong with Josh Allen?" Josh Allen looks like 2019 Josh Allen when the game in the league. All right, Josh Allen looks like 2022 Josh Allen again. The panic button, let it go. The red button, the red phone, you can put it back down. Everything's fine with the Buffalo Bills. They're a good football team. He wasn't reckless with the ball. They look good. They ran the ball better than they normally do. It was a really, they gave up the opening touchdown against the Raiders, and then they blew them out. They blew them out. It was my survivor pick last week. I think they won by 24, 27 points. They blew them out. They looked really good. Like they got their shit together, if you will. And the Commanders.
Or do the Raiders look really shitty?
Yeah, maybe that too. That's a part of the product, if you will, or the end result. Certainly. The Washington Commanders with a really big win. They won opening week against Arizona, and they went out to Denver on the road, and they beat the Denver Broncos with a, big second half from Sam Howell. Looked pretty good. Their defense is good. Your boy Chase Young finally played.
Yeah, I saw him.
1.5 sacks.
Still got him standing up, though. Don't like that.
Did they? I didn't see that. We talked about this game briefly earlier. Washington almost pissed it away after they took it away from Denver in the second half because they gave up that Hail Mary touchdown. But they defended the goal line on the 2-point conversion. They came away with the win. Big win. Buffalo's a better football team. They're going to go on the road and do this?
I don't know.
Washington's a good defensive football team.
They are. I don't like, what's his name? Jack Del Rio, though.
Yeah, the defensive coordinator for the Commanders.
Yeah. Buffalo's got a good defense, too.
It's too dangerous for me. I'm going to lay the wood. It's under a touchdown. I'm going to lay the wood with the Buffalo Bills because they're the more talented football team. It's not easy to win on the road in the National Football League, though.
No, it's not.
It's a tough one. I agree. It's tough. It's too risky for me to take Washington.
Fuck it. I'm taking Washington. Nick Chubb just sent me a message, said take Washington.
Yeah?
Yep. I'm taking the Redskins.
Means. That's kind of weird. Anyway, Sunday 4 p.m. slates with the Carolina Panthers traveling cross country to play the Seattle Seahawks. Carolina's 0-2. They lost just last night, the opening Monday Night Football game. By the way, we have 2 Monday Night Football games again. They need to stop doing that shit. That shit annoys me.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about how it annoyed you when we get to them.
Oh,
probably.
my God.
But Carolina's 0-2. The line on this game is Seattle minus 5.5. Seattle's 1-1. Carolina, they just lost last night at home to the New Orleans Saints. The Saints have a really good defense. And they throttled that offense. They're going to take their lumps too. Rookie quarterbacks, Bryce Young, he kind of looked like a little bit of a deer in headlights.
You said the Saints have a really good defense. They're going to take their lumps.
Carolina's going to take their lumps. With the rookie quarterback.
I don't know if the Saints' defense is that good.
I think it's pretty good.
Well,
I do. Well,
you thought,
but they're not on the
You
board.
thought
Carolina's
Kenny Pickens and the Steelers were good. Look out for this team. We'll play the prediction show, the first show we did this season, and see this honk on the Steelers.
I did. And look, maybe I was wrong about the Steelers, but I'm not saying that completely. Dan, they played the San Francisco 49ers.
They can't move the ball.
And the Cleveland Browns. Okay, you rank defensive teams. Do you put your team as a top 5 defensive team in the National Football League?
I put my team as the best
defensive team?
football team.
Okay, if they're the best, San Francisco too. So they played 2 really good defense. We'll see about the Steelers. They're not on the fucking board. What's on the board is the Seattle Seahawks minus 5.5.
Sorry,
they're not on the board right now. Like I just said, they're
taking Seattle.
Gino looked great last week. We said Dan and I talked
Carolina
about
blows. Taking Seattle.
Yeah. This is hard not to. It was a big overtime win. They had lost at home. They looked like crap the opening week, Dan. They got blown out at home by the Rams. And then
they got to be in the top 10 of the draft so they can get
their defense hasn't played well at all. So,
well, that Horn kid's out again.
That's for Carolina.
Yeah.
Seattle's defense hasn't played well, though. They gave up a ton of points to the Rams. Detroit's got a pretty formidable offense. They gave up a lot of points to them, but they won the game, outscored them, and won the game in overtime. I don't know. I'm expecting the defense to bounce back. I'm always rooting against Carolina because the Bears have their number 1 draft pick. I'm going to lay 5.5 too. It's short enough for me. It's short of a touchdown. I think they win this game by a touchdown. Dan and I both like Seattle minus 5.5. I agree. Next game on the board, Dallas travels out to Arizona. Not too far of a trip. Dallas big favorites, 12.5-point favorites in this game. The Dallas Cowboys, they come off with a win against the New York Jets.
I'm probably going to get to see this game. 4 o'clock.
There's a no. If it's on Fox, you're going to see, unfortunately, the next game on the board, which might be Bears, but we're not there. Dallas, they have a great defense. They do.
Okay, they might be better than the Browns.
I know, right? We have a lot of good defensive. Well, here, the opening couple.
Freaking fucking Micah Parsons is a freak. He's from Penn State.
Yes.
He played defensive end or linebacker.
Linebacker.
Jeez, that dude, unbelievable.
Through the first couple of weeks in the National Football League, and I don't know if it's a product of a lot of players not playing in preseason, the defense seems to have the edge over offenses right now. There's been a lot of defensive struggles. There hasn't been a lot of fireworks games where shootouts and things like this. I mean, it's a defense that's won overall, if you think about it, so far. And Dallas has a great one, and obviously, the Jets didn't have, a quarterback that was pretty viable, but their defense is great. The offense has playmakers. They put up 30 points on a Jet defense, but all of it wasn't that. It was the defense giving them wildly short fields and shit like that. So I'm not going to pump the Cowboys offense too much. Arizona, very game. And, everybody talked about Arizona as the worst team in the National Football League, and they're tanking for Caleb Williams. They're not the worst football team in the National Football League. I promise you not. They absolutely pissed away their game at home. A 3-touchdown lead in the middle of the third quarter that they pissed away and lost to the New York Giants by a field goal. Their defense is still playing well. They're 100% not the worst team in the National Football League, but Dallas is a big favorite in this game. They're 12.5.
I'm taking the Cowboys.
I'm struggling. It's a big number.
It's a huge number.
I don't think Arizona's going to move the ball, though. That's the problem. If they don't give up the turn,
that's what I'm saying.
Fuck it. I'm taking the Cardinals. I'm taking the Cardinals getting a 12.5 in this game.
But you just said you don't think the Cardinals are going to move the ball. I don't think the Cardinals are going to move the ball on that defense.
I think Arizona's defense has played really well so far. And Dallas has players on paper on offense. They do, but they haven't done a whole hell of a lot. Don't get me wrong. They did put up 30 points. And it's against the Jet defense, if you will. But I saw a lot of that shit. And it was really, really fucking short fields. So, anyway, I know it's a pretty wild pick.
It's a product of your defense, though.
I probably won't play my personal money. Dan and I are odds.
I wouldn't play my personal money on that one either.
You like? Yeah, okay, good. So it's not going to be Dan's best bet of the week. Next game on the board is my Chicago Football Bears traveling to Kansas City. Kansas City just short of a 2-touchdown favorite. They're minus 13 in this game. My Chicago Football Bears, they're losers of 12 in a row. I couldn't bring myself to wear something that said Chicago Bears on it, so I'm wearing something that says Decatur Staleys, which was the team started in Decatur, Illinois, about an hour or so from my hometown of Teotopolis, Illinois. They were there for 2 years. They were owned by the Staley family that had, I think, a starch company. I'm not positive about that, but they sold the team to George Hallis for $5,000 and gave him permission to move the team to Chicago. They played in Wrigley Field for a year or two and then moved into Soldier Field, and they became the Chicago Football Bears. But I wasn't part of the program. But
So who got money from that shirt? The Bears?
Yes, of course they did. So anyway, I 100% bought it because it's close to my hometown. I may be wrong about that. But we used to get a paper called the Decatur Herald when print was like a real thing. And the Sunday paper and all that was a good thing because it was the closest like real paper around type of thing. So I remember getting that. So Decatur couldn't have been that far away. I'm sure my buddy Ronnie, who I can't wait to see this weekend, will correct me in regards to how far Decatur is. But it's probably 45 minutes, an hour. I don't know. Something like that. But in any event, Bears are almost 2-touchdown underdogs here. They're getting 13. They've lost 12 in a row. The offensive line is horrible. The defensive line can't get to the pass rusher. And
your lines suck.
I'm so disappointed in regards to this football team and disheartened by this football team because I think they have to start over. I don't think Justin Fields is the answer. He's leaving so many plays on the field. And it got highlighted by the talking heads this week big time. They're all open. They're wide open wide receivers. He's not getting the ball out. He's not pulling the trigger. I don't know if he processes too slow. I don't know what the problem is. I mean, obviously, I'm not ready to pull the plug. The Bears had a pretty good rookie, undrafted rookie named Tyson Bagent out of a school called Shepherd University, which is in West Virginia, D2 school, who the ball came out quick. Like, if it continues to go bad for the Bears, I'm not opposed to seeing this guy. You know why I want to see him? Because I get to yell teabag at the TV like crazy on Sundays without repercussions. So, teabag, dropped one in there. I can't wait to yell shit like that. I hope it doesn't really happen. I hope Fields turns the corner. I don't know, but those were some really glaring, like, I don't know what word I'm looking for. Like, red marks. Like, wait,
I texted you. Your line sucks. Both sides of the ball. I mean, it's.
But Fields doesn't get the ball out.
Well,
maybe they're not great. The offensive line isn't that fucking bad.
Probably
He's
scared.
got to get the ball out. It's him. It's him. He's a large part of the problem. He is not him. Him is the fucking problem, if you ask me. Kansas City minus 13. Once again, I'm done railing on my fucking team. It wasn't.
Kansas City never covers. That's the thing.
They went to Jacksonville. They won that game, like low scoring game.
Yeah.
And like 17-9 or something weird, like a weird game.
They're going to be walking away with a win. They don't care what.
Kelsey
the score
played.
is.
Jones played. Their defensive player played. They don't look great. They don't look great. They're minus 13 this game, Dan.
I'm taking Chicago.
So am I, because Kansas City never covers. They don't. There's a lot of accountability in Chicago. I'm still taking the Bears in this game. I think it's a 10-point game. I think they look better, and they take this like weird like carrot or rainbow from this game where they lose by 10 or something like that. Who knows? Anyway, Sunday Night Football. Mercifully on to Sunday Night Football.
I get to watch this freaking Pittsburgh again.
Pittsburgh travels to play the Las Vegas Raiders. Both these teams are 1-1 on the season. Pittsburgh, this last night, comes off of their big division win against the Cleveland Browns. By the way, pick 'em game here, meaning who's going to win. You don't have a spread here. Pick the winner, and you're the winner, if you will. Pittsburgh, they didn't show anything on offense. You have a very good defense. They got two huge defensive scores that swayed the outcome of the game.
Yeah, totally.
The opening play, Dan, whose fault is that?
The receiver.
Who was it?
Harrison Bryant, 88.
88. Oh, that's why you said, we'll give him 88.
Yeah.
All right.
For Jonathan Taylor, I said, yeah.
Yes. Dan sent that later. Obviously, the offense is a work in progress. I mentioned or highlighted earlier, they played two pretty good defenses so far. But Pickett hasn't looked great. They got a big busted play. Like, literally, the Cleveland defense is great. They gave up 2 defensive touchdowns, and then they gave up a busted coverage ball over the middle to
Even watching the replay, I don't know who was supposed to be covering him.
George Pickens. Yeah.
I can't figure it out.
It was a crossing route, deep crossing route. He caught it in stride.
Nobody.
He caught it in stride, and he was gone.
Nobody.
The Raiders, they come off the loss in Buffalo. I mentioned it earlier. They got the opening touchdown in the game, but it didn't look very good from there. Buffalo completely shut down Josh Jacobs. -2 rushing yards. Not +2, -2 rushing yards. Like, less than fucking 0 rushing yards. And Garoppolo's not going to carry that team if you can't run the ball. Pittsburgh out in Vegas. Who's going to win this game?
I don't know. The Steelers defense played well. They won the game because the defense got 2 scores. I don't see the defense producing 2 touchdowns every friggin' week for you. I'm going to go with the Raiders.
I feel like a Pittsburgh honk. I promise you I'm not. And I hate the amount of Steeler fans that there are in Northeast Ohio. This is Browns country. I fucking hate it. Especially if you don't have any tie to the state of Pennsylvania, the city of Pittsburgh, or your dad made you that way. Fine. If he did, that's fine. With that being said, if you're just a random Northeast Ohioan and you're rooting for the Steelers because you thought the Browns sucked, fuck you. I hate that shit. Fuck you. So anyway, I think Pittsburgh's a better team. I do.
But you're going to pick the Steelers after you just preached to everybody?
I did.
What a tool.
I don't like that. I don't like how many random Steelers fans there are in the area for no reason. And I asked them, I'm like, why are you a Steelers fan? If they don't have a good reason, I'm like, you're a fucking asshole. So, anyway.
Going with the Raiders.
By the way, 2 Monday Night Football games again. I belabor it again. I don't like the staggered Monday Night Football games. My father-in-law, Tom, does not like that because it's past his bedtime. Tom, what time do you normally go to bed?
8:30.
8:30. It is 9:21. You might have to do another little beer shot before you go to bed to make sure it's nice and cozy. You fall asleep well. The first game, it starts at 7:15 on Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football. New intro last night. Did you see it?
I did. Who's the singer?
Stapleton, baby. Chris Stapleton, country
Sang,
singer with Snoop Dogg, In the Air Tonight.
Yeah.
No, the Phil Collins, Genesis, I don't know which one it was.
It was okay. I liked it.
Oh, man,
I was wondering who that hillbilly was with the
Stapleton.
beard
He's
and the
awesome.
hat. And
He's awesome. I freaking love Stapleton. I've been to a couple of Stapleton concerts. Just one Stapleton concert, but I love him. I thought the intro was fantastic. Back on the game, Philadelphia 5.5-point favorites on the road, traveling south down I-95 to Tampa. They got to cut across a little bit. Tampa's in the middle of the state. In any event, Philly minus 5.5 in this game. They come off of their Thursday night win. Plenty of rest against Minnesota. This is the
wait, they played Thursday.
They did
How do they get a Monday night game?
like mini bye, right? Like
Yeah,
mini
that's
bye.
bullshit there.
Kind of, I agree. Dan putting the math together on that. I like that. Philadelphia, Super Bowl runner-up, obviously, last year. But they haven't really looked the part this year, Dan.
They haven't looked the part at all.
The offense hasn't looked good.
No.
The
Defense looks good.
defense looks fine. And, Nick Sirianni likes to throw the ball around. Whatever. Obviously, everybody's glorified him as a coach. But I give him credit because the passing game wasn't working against Minnesota. And did you see that drive? I want to say it was in the second quarter. It was like 13 runs. Like, they didn't throw the ball. They gave Miles Sanders, I think that's the running back. Had
Zero?
Yes.
Yeah.
He had one carry in the, was it DeAndre Swift? It's DeAndre Swift.
I think it is Swift.
Miles Sanders went to Carolina. DeAndre Swift went from Detroit to Philadelphia. It was DeAndre Swift. I apologize because they only draft and play like Georgia, University of Georgia players. Anyway, so it's DeAndre Swift. But he got one carry opening week. He had 28 last week. That entire drive, there was 13 runs in a row. So I give it a lot of credit to Nick Sirianni saying, hey, this passing shit isn't working. We got to change our recipe formula, whatever the situation is. So I give them credit for that. They're 5.5, traveling down to Tampa. Tampa comes off of their win. They're a 2-0 football team, by the way. They won in Minnesota opening week. Pretty good win. They won at home against Chicago, which turns out to be, okay, you're supposed to because the Bears suck.
Baker
hasn't made
lucked
mistakes.
out. I mean, he gonna make mistakes against Philly.
They're gonna go on the road and trounce them.
Yeah, Philly is. Yeah, 5.5. I'm taking Philly.
I agree. I think it's a good line too. It's under a touchdown. I think Philadelphia is a considerably better football team than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
By Baker in this game.
Yeah, turnover machine starts, a mistake machine happens. I agree. I like that game a lot. Frankly, now that we started talking about it and kind of work through it. The last game, the Monday Night Football game, starts at 8:15. Once again, stagger start 7:15, 8:15, which is kind of a mess. Was the Manning broadcast on Monday?
No, it wasn't. I was pissed.
So they're not going to do it when they have these staggered things?
I don't know.
They got to stop doing that. Anyway, it's the Los Angeles Rams traveling to Cincinnati. Queen City, right? Cincinnati, Queen City?
Yeah.
Queen City. Cincinnati's only a 2-point favorite in this game, and I think that largely reflects the fact that we don't think Joe Burrow's going to start this football game.
Dude, I mean, he had the freaking massage gun on the sideline trying to work out his freaking calf, and then when they were shaking hands, he's limping. I mean, the dude's hurt.
It's not his fucking arm, though, Dan. I mean, that was they threw for 82 yards in Cleveland opening week, and once again, I've touted your defense throughout the show. But at home last week against Baltimore, it was ugly too. Jamar Chase has not been involved, at all. But we're supposed to be talking about the Rams. The Rams are a surprise 1-1 football team. Oh my God, am I fucking pissed off at Sean McVay?
Why?
Dude, what the fuck? Okay, we're gonna talk about this. Gambling is difficult enough. It's very difficult. And now the coaches seem to have changed the rules. Sean McVay, with 3 seconds on the clock, and they're at the 30-yard line, kicks a fucking field goal and makes time expire. The number was 10. They were down by 10 points, so they lost the game by 7 because he made the field goal. If you're going to fucking do that, send a memo out to the bettors that the rules have fucking changed because you're supposed to just run the ball and then you go shake hands. You're not supposed to change The money, you're not supposed to have the money change hands because that line was -8. And
Fixed. It's fixed.
So it went from 10 to 7
All this
because
is
he randomly
fixed.
kicked a field goal for no fucking reason. Like,
For
the better
everybody
be a
that
memo
thought
if shit like that's gonna
WWF
happen.
was real, the NFL's fake.
That shit's what the hell? That messes with the bettors bad. Anyway, I'm railing on Sean McVay. I mean, Kyron Williams, he's our Notre Dame product. He's a running back.
Yeah.
They're running back one. They put Cam Akers on the market. We'll see if the Browns have any interest in that whatsoever. How about that receiver from BYU? Puka Nakua, whatever.
Yeah.
Like too many vowels in both first and last name. 25 catches on the year, Dan. 10 opening week, 15 the second week. I don't know what that's all about. Anyway, I mean, are they game? Are they going to be in this game against Cincinnati? Are they going to win this game in Cincinnati? If Joe Burrow doesn't play, there's some dude named Jake Browning, and I have no idea where
No
Jake
NFL
Browning.
start.
Do you know where he went to
No.
school?
No.
Me neither. I mean, I don't know what the hell to think of this game. I'm going to lay the home team just because they're the home team, and they're 0-2, and you're buried if you're 0-3. I mean, they may not win this football game. I'm not personally playing this game. There's no way in hell, unless Burrow plays, and then the number's going to go up, and we have a skewed line. But it's Tuesday as we talk about.
But
So
even if Burrow plays, he's freaking hurt.
it's been awful, yeah.
I'm
But
going
it's
with
not his arm,
I'm
though,
going
Dan.
with the Rams.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, big balls, Dan. Really?
Yeah.
All right, we're on to elephant picks, man. We're on to elephant picks. I got to scan the board.
Oh, I know who I'm talking
My friends ask me, like, you got all the picks figured out, you know who your best bet is. I'm like, no, I don't have anything.
No, I
I gotta
don't know.
scan.
I
Dan,
don't
do you
know
have
this
one?
shit till I get here. Yeah, I'm going with Philly on my elephant pick.
I love it. I think it's a really good choice. I like Miami in the game. I did them last week. I think they're going to cover that number of 6.5.
I was going to take Cleveland, but I'm going to go with Philly.
Let's make us both positive. Dan and I both best bets Philly. I love Philadelphia and Tampa. I think the Tampa thing's a charade.
I think that's the first time we had the same elephant pick.
Maybe. I mean, I like the Miami line. I like the Buffalo line, but we're talking about Buffalo team on the road. We're talking about another. I mean, it's a shorter number, 5.5 on the road. They're both on Philadelphia. The best bet. Book it. Play it. I think we're gonna have a really good week this week. I think we have 3, 4 different, maybe.
I don't know,
so.
Tom. How many do we have different? Did you take
know that?
notes on both?
Pardon me?
How many games do Dan and I have different? Do you know?
I think 2.
Oh, well,
2.
it's more than
That's it.
that. We need a different fact checker. Our fact checker's too fucking old.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'm gonna
Wait, are we going to talk about Notre Dame?
You want to do it?
LSU?
Let's do it. Who's gonna win?
ND, baby.
You know what the line is?
No.
Buckeyes -3.5. It's a tough environment in South Bend to win at night.
I'm taking ND.
I tell you
Ohio
what,
State has
They haven't
not
shown
impressed me.
like a whole lot, and I think their quarterback situation is still a little bit of a problem. I think Notre Dame wins this game too. I don't know. I promise you, I'm traveling there with 4 Ohio State fans. Both my sons go to Ohio State. I fucking love them. They switched allegiances, and they should have. I taught them well. Like, they grew up huge Notre Dame fans, but they're like, Dad, no, we're out. We're out. And that's the way it should be. That's your second family there at Ohio State. Good for you boys. I think I taught you well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll let you know how we did last week when we come back next week, right?
If ND wins, Keaton and his buddies have to do little beers, and we want pictures.
Let's do it. Let's do it. That's a fair trade.
So you guys doing this next Tuesday or the next Wednesday?